All right, all right. What's up, guys? Are we live? We got first of all, we got audio. We got audio. We're here. Good afternoon. We're here, and we're here. There's gonna be a press conference coming up, and there's some major news. Major. I should actually update the title or something. Major update or something. I don't know. Whatever. Two men have been charged. There's a press conference coming up. And I think we should do a little, tiny little recap too, maybe. Tiny recap on the story, some of the details before the press conference starts. How many of you guys remember the story about the Kansas City Chiefs fans found frozen in a backyard? 3 of them deceased. Okay. Crazy situation. Almost like unbelievable. Nobody could even grasp really what was going on with this story at the time. And there was a lot of rumors. The family was saying a lot of stuff. Let's go over some of the details. We got about 5 minutes or so for the press conference. Let's go over. So you guys remember? Some of you guys remember? Timeline. Death of 3 Kansas City fans raises questions. Family and friends found the 3 men dead outside a home in January in Northland, Kansas. And this was in 2024. It's been like a year. And we're just now getting some type of like updates and stuff. All 3 men were found. They gathered for a football game at their friend's house. Just days later, their bodies were located in the backyard. The homeowner, who has not been charged, which that kind of, I think, changed. And he wasn't really the homeowner. He was like renting the place or whatever. But you know what I mean. Jordan Willis, I think, says the men froze to death, but family and friends told News Nation that this is one of the many details that doesn't add up. And I think at the time, one of the things they said was that, like, supposedly Jordan, the guy that survived, he was wearing his headphones and I don't know. Anyway, so the toxicology came back at that time in February, and the men had drugs in their system, cocaine and fentanyl. I thought it was also marijuana. And initial gathering, okay, January 7, 2024, David Harrington, 37 years old, 38-year-old Ricky Johnson, and 36-year-old Clayton McGinney went to a friend's house to watch the game. The game kicked off at 3:25 Central. There's Central time over there, 1 hour behind Eastern, and ended almost exactly 3 hours later, according to the post on the team's social media pages. For the next 50 hours, nobody heard from these 3 guys, including the guy that survived. The guy that survived, you guys remember, I think it was one of the guys' wife or something. They come and knock on her door. Nothing's going on. They don't see anything. I forgot how she got inside or something happened. She ends up seeing, I think, one of the bodies, and she screams and like calls police, but she had been previously knocking on the door. So when the cops show up to this place, the guy that lives there, Jordan, opens his door with like a glass of wine. I think the cup was empty, and he was in boxers. So January 7th, they go to watch this game. January 9th, the fiance shows up to the home, started banging on the door. Nobody answers. She broke through the basement and found one of the men dead on the back porch and called police. How this guy, Jordan, didn't hear this, I always thought was a little sus. I thought maybe he had gotten high too, but he survived. Maybe whatever these other guys had, Jordan had too, but he was on the inside, and those 3 guys for some reason were outside, and they died of the cold. Police issued a statement next morning. They found no obvious signs of foul play. The warrant wasn't required to enter the residence because of the homeowner's cooperation, which, by the way, he went into rehab. He was getting a lot of pressure. People were like, yo, what's going on? This doesn't make sense. They were looking into this guy, Jordan. He leaves the house because of, I guess, harassment. And then he puts himself in rehab. Okay. Anyway, January 12th, 2024, the victims, 3 bodies were identified. And on January 18th, medical examiner's determination of cause of death. The next thing would drive any additional investigative steps. There is no change in preliminary findings. There's no indications of foul play. Autopsies were conducted on all 3 men, and the results were pending. The news tried to reach out to the homeowner to no avail. The homeowner's attorney told News Nation that his client had no idea his friend's bodies were in his backyard. He added there was nothing his client would do to harm them. He doesn't use that particular door. He goes out the front door. He had absolutely no knowledge they were there. They were his friends, so on and so forth. This is the video obtained when Jordan was home. It's about 10 minutes after Clayton McGinney's fiance discovered the three men. So toxicology report, cocaine and fentanyl. That was February 1st there. Unanswered questions. Anyway, so it was a whole mess. Supposed to be a press conference coming up at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock their time, 4 o'clock our time. Anyway, the new thing that's happening, and I think this is what is going to be mentioned in the press conference. This article just came out. Oh, here's the presser. Okay, perfect. Perfect timing. Two men have been charged. Two men have been charged after investigators say they were connected to the deaths of the three Chiefs fans who were found dead in the backyard in 2024. According to court records, Jordan Willis and Ivory Carson have been charged with 3 counts of involuntary manslaughter and 2 counts of delivery of a controlled substance except 35 grams or less of marijuana or synthetic cannabinoid. It's about time. It's about time. Now, I don't know. My theory, I don't know who this Ivory Carson person is. I wonder if this person was the plug. And if you guys remember, Jordan Willis, I think one of his cousins had come out and alleged that Jordan was in school, in high school or whatever. He was the plug. He's the guy that you go to get the stuff. And that guy was wasn't he like a scientist or a chemist or some shit too? So I don't think Jordan intended for these guys to die. I don't know what happened. I don't know if the stuff was laced. I don't know what went on. And I kind of think the reason why this kid, well, not kid, adult, the reason why Jordan survived is simply because he was inside his home. And he had passed out. The reason he didn't answer his phone for those days, this is my theory, is that he was effed up too. High on something, whatever he was high on. And he woke up to whatever happened. So crazy. So there's a press conference coming up. Excited about that. Let me do a little tweet here too. Big news. Big news. Back then, this story was huge. Yeah, Jordan Willis. Wow. Involuntary manslaughter. Okay. And I think that I thought that Jordan Willis's attorney had threatened to start suing people because everybody was accusing Jordan Willis. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Bad batches. Yeah, speaking of bad batches, I had seen something where this deceased person, I think it was a Florida story, they found all this Xanax and all of it was laced with fentanyl. I saved it here somewhere. Well, apparently I didn't save it. And they found the person dead in their house. just use this source. That's fine. So a lot of the stuff out there is being laced. Nothing's really safe. Florida. Yeah, I'm thinking so, Oniange. Fenty is terrible in KC. Oh, KC Brown says, I know Clayton and his whole family, they aren't stopping until someone is in jail. Yeah, it looks like these guys are. I wonder if they've arrested Jordan. I know they say he's being charged with involuntary manslaughter. And they say that the weather that night was was around 33 degrees. One factor fueling speculation about their deaths has been that the homeowner says he didn't know their bodies of his 3 longtime friends were on his back porch and in his backyard for 2 days before they were found. That's another thing that didn't make much sense to me either. I think Jordan was passed out the whole time. That's what I'm thinking. Speculation, of course, but send out Plate County prosecuting attorney. So waiting on, let's see here. Waiting on press conference. 2 charges. Jordan Willis. Involuntary manslaughter. Crazy, man. How 3 people just like that dead. With a night of just watching some football, you know? Football game. It's odd. Oh, the other thing that was weird, too, there was another person in the house. There was a 5th person, so it was revealed that a 5th person had been at the home on the night of the Chiefs game. The friend told police that the 3 men had been alive and awake when he left the house. And they were trying to reach out to Jordan, allegedly, and this guy never replied. Investigation revealed different family members of the 3 men had messaged him through Facebook Messenger, but did not text or call him directly on the phone. I wonder if the other person that got arrested was this person. I mean, that 5th person, if it was this person that got arrested. Queen Ashley, thank you. Thank you for the 11 months. Thanks for bringing us the latest news and hot topics. Thank you. I'm a little tired from last night. We're up late. I mean, I was up to like 12. Oh, this is so nice. DJ Daniel.
What a good-looking family, huh?
There's one more thing I got for you, a big hug.
Okay, good. That's very nice. Look at that family you got, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very nice. How are you? Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. That was a big evening last night, right?
Yes, it was.
That was a big evening. What a good-looking family, huh?
So he has that kid, 12-year-old. We talked about it last night. He has, I believe, a rare form of cancer, brain cancer. And they told him he had 5 months to live, and now it's been a couple of years. And they say he struggles with his life daily, so he's always wanted to be a cop. So they honored him with 800 or 900 times as an honorary police officer. And then last night they made him part of the Secret Service. It was really nice, a nice touching moment. However, today when I was scrolling, I did see like some horrible video about DJ Daniel that he was being bullied and picked on by a bunch of these ratchet ass people. It was disgusting. Picking on him, making fun of him, all this kind of stuff. I don't know for when the video was. I guess maybe it was an old video. So we're just waiting on the press conference. It's been a long time coming, man. I hope the Gene Hackman thing doesn't take this long. Platte counties in Missouri. Okay. Bullard, thank you for the 10 months. It's got to be on those 3 guys who dies from spice. Nah, I think it was lace, man. They found fentanyl in the body. Coke and fent. Okay, no problem, Bullard. Oh, yeah, Bob. That was weird. I saw that video of that kid. I was kind of sad. As far as today, I haven't really seen anything too big. I was really busy this morning. I just got home in the afternoon. There is this story while we wait for the press conference. There is this story about South Carolina. They're about to get started. South Carolina's first firing squad execution in 15 years. Got no audio.
I am
There we go.
prosecuting attorney Stacey Graves, Deputy Chief Doug Niemeyer,
Bump up the volume.
Detective Philip Sipple, and Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Colin Van Osterd. We're here today to announce charges against 2 men for drug distribution and manslaughter in the deaths of Clayton McGeeney, David Harrington, and Ricky Johnson. These 3 men were found dead outside a Platte County home on January 9, 2024. Today, Jordan Willis and Ivory Carson have been charged with distribution of a controlled substance and 3 counts of involuntary manslaughter. This case has received considerable attention from the media, and I think some people seem to believe that charges may never be brought in this case. People may have doubted this investigation because it has spanned more than a year.
Yeah.
But understand this, the Kansas City Police Department and my office do not rest on homicide cases until we have exhausted every possible resource to bring anybody we believe responsible to justice. Today's charges are the product of hard work of Kansas City detectives and prosecutors over those many months. Let me summarize the probable cause statement in this case, and we will have copies of the charging documents, including the entire probable cause statement for you after our statements here. As I've mentioned, Clayton McGeeney, David Harrington, and Ricky Johnson were found dead outside defendant Jordan Willis's home in the 5200 block of Northwest 83rd Terrace in the Platte County portion of Kansas City on January 9. Mr. McGeeney's fiancée told police that Mr. McGeeney, Mr. Harrington, and Mr. Johnson had gone to Mr. Willis's home to watch the Kansas City Chiefs football game on January 7th. When she could not contact Mr. McGeeney, she went back to the home on January 9th and found at least 1 person dead on the back patio. Temperatures had dropped below freezing the night of the Chiefs game. Officers with the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department responded to that scene and found Mr. McGeeney, Mr. Harrington, and Mr. Johnson's bodies in the backyard of the home. Detectives then obtained consent to search the home. They found 2 plastic bags containing white powdery substances. The bags were tested by the Kansas City, Missouri Police Crime Laboratory. One of those bags contained cocaine, and the probable cause statement alleges that Mr. Willis was determined to be the major contributor of DNA found on that bag. The other bag contained fentanyl, and the probable cause statement alleges that Mr. Carson was determined to be the major contributor of DNA on that bag. The probable cause statement also recounts the statement of a witness who said he was at Mr. Harrington's home with Mr. Harrington, Mr. McGeaney, Mr. Johnson, and the defendant, Mr. Willis, the night of the football game, where he saw a large plate of cocaine allegedly supplied by Mr. Willis that everyone was using. The witness said Mr. McGeaney, Mr. Harrington, Mr. Johnson were going to Mr. Willis's home after the football game. Another witness said he was with Mr. McGeaney, Mr. Harrington, Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Willis at Willis's home later that night on January 7th, where they drank, smoked marijuana, and used cocaine. That witness left shortly before midnight. Data recovered from Mr. Harrington's phone allegedly contains text messages between Mr. Harrington, Mr. McGeaney, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Willis, the defendant, Mr. Carson, and others consistent with the purchase and use of cocaine. The messages allegedly indicate that Mr. Carson supplied Mr. Harrington with cocaine. A doctor with Forensic Medical of Kansas found that Mr. McGeaney, Mr. Harrington, and Mr. Johnson all died of fentanyl and cocaine combined toxicity. Mr. Willis and Mr. Carson are both charged with a single count of delivery of a controlled substance and 3 counts of involuntary manslaughter for recklessly causing the deaths of Mr. McGeaney, Mr. Harrington, and Mr. Johnson. Each of those charges carries a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison. Mr. Carson is in the Platte County Jail in lieu of a $100,000 cash bond. We have been told that Mr. Willis is going to surrender himself on the warrant issued for his arrest and that he will post a $100,000 cash bond. This case is a tragic reminder of the dangers of street drugs. But make no mistake, the people who supply those drugs can and will be held accountable when people overdose. I again want to thank the men and women of the Kansas City Police Department for their tireless work on this case, as well as Mr. Van Osteren standing here with me and First Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Mark Gibson. All of these folks were intimately involved in this investigation from day one. I should caution you that the charges against Mr. Willis and Mr. Carson are merely accusations, and they are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. Let me turn things over now to Chief Graves for a few additional comments.
The charges here today are a message for not only those who are grieving the lives of their loved ones who were lost to, in this case, to fentanyl, to know that the members of the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department do not give up on these investigations. While this happened a year ago, our detectives continue to work on this case to get it to the point that we're at today, where charges are filed. In addition to that, this is a message to those that are bringing fentanyl into our communities, providing it to people, harming our community, that you will be held accountable, you will be arrested, and you will be charged.
We're happy to take any questions that you have.
What was the sticking point? What took so long in this investigation? We know that the statements in the probable cause date back to January. We know that Mr. Carson admitted to this in July of last year. We know his DNA was found on the bag in December. So what took you so long to get here? And the point of that question is there concern that there could be more fentanyl in this community, considering neither one of these men were in jail for more than a year?
Yeah, there certainly is more fentanyl in this community, I can tell you that. And there's no doubt that fentanyl is a very dangerous drug, as is cocaine. In this case, the ME determined that it was a combination of cocaine and fentanyl that killed these men. And I will tell you, these cases are complex to investigate. There is a lot that needs to be done to have a case like this brought. And I'm just proud of the men and women of the Kansas City Police Department, as well as Mr. Van Osteren and Mr. Gibson in this office, that they never shied away from doing what we had to do to get to where we are today.
Again, if you just answered my question, I said, what took so long? There was
what took so long? That is a pretty long time.
These inquiries that you asked in December. That's almost 4 months ago. This was December 12th, you got that back. He admitted this in August. What was the sticking point? that took until March
I-
to get these charges?
I will tell you, it takes time to bring these cases. There were additional investigative things that had to be wrapped up before this case could be brought. Thank you.
Makes you think about the smaller cases.
They didn't know the cocaine was laced with fentanyl, or they knew that there was a mix of it?
Again, sadly, we'll never know the answer to that question in all likelihood. What we allege was that there was one bag that contained cocaine, another bag that contained fentanyl. The ME found that it was a combination of those two drugs that led to these men's
wonder if they
death.
knew.
And the sad part of these cases is we're not able to ask the decedents what happened that night.
Jordan Willis was referred to by friends and family for years as the chemist. Is there some belief that
chemist.
he was mixing this in his home?
I will tell you that the probable cause statement does not allege anything to that effect.
The cousin did say he was known as the
What's your message
chemist.
to these families that have waited this long for this news? Because I know it's important to our community, but at the end of the day, you have 3 families, children that don't have fathers anymore.
Absolutely. It's heartbreaking. It again is a reminder of the dangers of street drugs, but I had a very good conversation with family members before we met today, where they were grateful that, again, police never gave up on this case, that they continue to work it, and they're proud of the fact that we're at the point we are today where charges have been brought. Again, I caution you, it's a long way from now until a finding of guilt, and until that time, both of these defendants are presumed innocent unless until proven guilty.
You said Willis is surrendering. Is Carson surrendering as well?
Carson was arrested earlier today and is in the Platte County Jail.
Chief Graves, I have a question for you. Is it concerning for you, first of all, the length of this investigation when this person admitted to providing these drugs went on this long?
Yeah,
And
it's
who knows
crazy.
how many other people could have succumbed to the drugs
That's
that
true.
he was selling, number one. Number two, what's your message to this community when it comes to the real dangers of this drug and what it can do in the small amount that it takes to take a life?
Well, in regard to your first question about the time that it takes, we have got to make sure that whatever case that we provide is the best for successful prosecution, and that's what we've done here today. Unfortunately, sometimes these cases, especially ones that is with these particular dynamics, they're hard to charge. And you'll find throughout the United States, these cases are hard to charge. But we've done that here in Kansas City. This isn't our first time we've done this. And those who continue to bring fentanyl and other dangerous drugs into our community know that if you are distributing those drugs, you're causing harm, you will be arrested and you will be charged. Secondly, what was your second question?
Just the dangers of this drug on our streets. I mean, it takes a
Right.
very small amount to take a life. And now you see 3 people that died over a year ago were given this somehow.
Right.
No telling how much more of that batch is out on our streets. But your message to people across Kansas City about the real danger of this drug.
Right. There is absolutely a danger with regard to fentanyl as well as other street drugs. Obviously, with fentanyl, it just takes a very small amount that could take someone's life. The Kansas City, Missouri Police Department not only works in that space here that culminates in the successful prosecution of this case or to getting charges today, but we're also proactive in making sure that we're out in our community providing messages of prevention. We're also intervening narcotics with our interdiction squad, but we also have a squad that goes out on overdose deaths. That way, we are notified right there. We respond to the scene. We begin our investigation right then. And that is with living or victims that succumb to the narcotics ingestion.
And just one more question. Do you guys have any idea what was taking place at this house for 3 days while these 3 men lay in the backyard?
Yeah, exactly. What was going on those 3 days?
Of what took place in those days as they were literally freezing?
Again, we can't speak beyond what's in the probable cause statement at this time. But this is a terrible, terrible tragedy. 3 men are dead because of the dangers of street drugs, of fentanyl, of cocaine. And I just urge anybody who is thinking about buying drugs on the street to think twice before they do it.
Throughout the investigation, were you able to reveal any more of the relationship between the decedents and those that were charged? in terms of their relationship and how they maybe were acquainted, friends, whatever?
Again, I can't get deeply into the relationship between these folks, but the probable cause statement does talk about how the three men who tragically died in this case were at Mr. Willis's home and at another location with Mr. Willis and others the night before this. We allege that the other defendant, Mr. Carson, provided fentanyl to these men.
We know the toxicology report, but is there an autopsy of, do we know if they died outside or they died inside the house and then were taken out, or what is that?
Yeah, again, I can't get into those facts at this point.
That's what I'm wondering too. There's still more to this.
Conviction in this case?
I wouldn't bring charges that I didn't believe are justified by the evidence, but again, I should caution everybody. In America, there's a presumption of innocence until guilt is proven. We're going to do everything we can in this case to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, and we'll determine what a judge or 12 members of a jury ultimately think about this case.
In terms of the text messages that were in the probable cause statement that state that they were inquiring about buying drugs, did it reveal that there were any other instances that these individuals had purchased drugs outside this?
Again, I just can't speak to that at this moment. Thank you.
Well, been a year or so. Island Tres, by the way, thank you for the heads up on this press conference. I don't know if you're out there somewhere. I guess, I don't know how the family feels about that. I guess it's, a step in the right direction. Sally on Facebook says, Mr. Willis was a scientist so far. He should have known the difference between cocaine and fentanyl, I would think. What I thought was interesting, too, at the press conference, he said that they were in separate bags. Because the reporter was like, oh, did they know they were taking coke and fentanyl? Because they were in separate bags. So I guess it wasn't like mixed together. Did they know? I don't know, were they putting it in there, rolling it up as a joint or something? Nothing is really, everything's just so mixed. I'm sure they did that back in the day, but I feel like back in the day it was a little easier to find this, if you were into that partying or whatever, to find this stuff. Well, I feel like nowadays everything is just so stepped on, as they say, mixed with finding cheaper ways to make things, And that was a really good question about, how did these guys end up outside? Were they hot and they walked outside? Why wasn't Jordan with them? Why go out the back? Were they disoriented? The three of them went out to the back instead of to the front of the house to leave. Jordan's story kept switching up multiple times. I guess he was afraid, obviously. Because did these guys die outside, or did they die inside and placed outside? But then why would he place them in the backyard? I don't know. For this story of I don't know what happened. I don't know, man. Still kind of some questions there. But at least this is a step. I forgot what my thoughts were back then. But 2 guys arrested. Involuntary manslaughter. And it did take a long time, but the lady was saying these types of cases supposedly are hard to charge. Yeah, out back for 2 days. Oh, yeah, hoax. I remember the wife said her husband didn't do drugs. Well, either that's what she really thought. Maybe she didn't know he was doing it because, a lot of people are doing things. Their significant others have no idea, or kids and their parents, kids doing stuff, teenagers doing stuff, maybe that their parents have no idea. It's possible that the wife had no idea. Hey, honey, I'm going to watch football, and the guy's just getting lit up, having fun. It could be that, I don't know. Who knows? And that's the thing about this too, is okay, I guess it's going to go to trial. We'll have to see how they plead, I guess. We have to see how they plead, but we never know what really happened inside that house. In that household, what really happened that night, what went wrong. Just the outcome. Crazy after all this time. Now, there is this guy. South Carolina's first firing squad execution in 15 years. They're going to light this guy up. Brad Sigmund, 67-year-old, convicted of double murder in 2001, is scheduled for execution this Friday in South Carolina. They're going to strap him to a chair. He's going to have a hood on with a target. I didn't know, but I didn't read that part. A target placed over his heart, as discussed in various social media posts. Damn. Is it just what I wonder? Is it going to be one person, multiple people shooting at this guy?
Friends, parents in their home here.
Let me lower the volume.
On East Darby Road in Taylors. This week, he's scheduled to be put to death by fire.
Caroline, I don't know. That's a good question. Who is this Ivory person? I don't know. Is that the mystery fifth person that was at the house? Or was that the person that they went to's house first and then they went to Jordan's house after? I don't know.
Firing squad.
In 2001, Brad Sigmund took the lives of his ex-girlfriend's parents, Gladys and David Lark, inside their home in Greenville County.
Both were brutally murdered.
According to the Greenville County Coroner's Office, their deaths were extremely gruesome.
Mrs. Lark, you could obviously tell she had some type of defensive wounds, so she tried to defend off her attacker.
Court records state the Larks were repeatedly hit on their heads with a baseball bat by Sigmund.
Yeah.
I remember that Mrs. Lark was actually sitting in a chair. Mr. Lark, he was on the floor, and both had multiple blunt force injuries that we could see immediately.
Greenville County Coroner Mike Ellis says at the time it wasn't obvious what object had been used to kill the Larks until the bat was found in the home.
We did find a blunt object. It appeared to look like some type of bat with multiple blood and hair on the weapon at the scene.
According to court records, when Sigmund's
Franco
ex-girlfriend
donated $4.99 through Super Chat. Hey Mel, thanks for the news stories and your personal thoughts on things.
Frank, thank you so much, man. Appreciate the support. Thanks for the super chat. They have several people. They don't know who is one that actually does the takeout.
Arrived at the home, Sigmund then forced her into a car. We're told Barbera jumped out of the moving car. Sigmund got out, chased her, and fired a gun at her several times. Barbera was injured but survived. According to court records, Sigmund went to Tennessee where he was captured 10 days later.
Police officers were on top of me in Greenville continuously.
Those records also revealed Sigmund had been smoking crack cocaine and drinking alcohol the evening before the killings. A South Carolina jury found Sigmund guilty of 2 counts of murder in 2002. He was sentenced to death for the murders. Sigmund's attorneys filed for clemency with Governor Henry McMaster, hoping instead of death, his sentence can be changed to life in prison without parole. When asked last week if he would grant Sigmund clemency, this was McMaster's response.
I have great confidence in our legal system, our system of justice in the country, and especially in South Carolina, and the law.
Sigmund's execution is scheduled for Friday.
So Friday, they're going to shoot this guy, firing squad, execution style. I haven't heard of that. I don't know since when. I wonder when the last time that was. I mean, I know South Carolina 15 years, but when was the last time somebody was executed like that? For anybody that watches,
I sent you that 2-year Arkansas little girl thrown around for 30 minutes by her mom's BF on it.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. I had to pull back from some old stories. I do want to cover the 2-year-old though, but it's a weird story with the 2-year-old. But well, I'm thinking of the other 2-year-old. But the one you told me about too. Yeah, that was too much. Too much. This OnlyFans model, I forgot her name. The hoe, I don't know. The one isn't this the one that slept with 1,000 guys or something? Or is that the other one? She slept with 1,000 something men. She's beefing with some other girl, Bonnie Blue or something. They're beefing with who could sleep with as many or something like that. Well, now they're saying this lady is going to nursing homes and sleeping with elderly men.
I found my oldest fan via Facebook, and when I asked for his address, he actually sent me the address of a care home. So I'm actually here with him and his friends, and I'm going to show them a good time.
Jeez. They say she's looking for love too, has had a hard time finding a relationship. So men, she's single if you're interested. Well, I don't know if she's single, and I'm just kidding, but there's that. What else was there? I know there was something else. The tariff thing too. The tariff. We kind of talked a little bit about that last night, but China's pissed. China said that if war is what the U.S. wants, be it tariff war, a trade war, or any type of war, we're ready to fight to the end. So they're pissed about this tariff stuff going on. There was something else though. Oh God. Last night Trump said, I'll try not to get too much into politics, but Trump said that there was some sort of transgender. Remember last night we were watching this thing and it says like transgender research on mice? I was like, what? I never heard of that. Apparently he misspoke or made a mistake. Transgenic. I don't even know what that means. During a recent address, President Donald Trump cited an $8 million allocation for which he described as funding to make mice transgender. I can't even believe that, bro.
Bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam. The type of shit I'm on, you wouldn't understand.
Wow. Transgender mice, sparking a mix of laughter. I busted out laughing. I just laughed now because I couldn't even believe this. And controversy, this was a factual error. The funds were actually for research involving transgenic mice, which study gene functions and disease by incorporating foreign DNA. The misunderstanding highlighted on social media reflects broader confusion between the terms transgenic and transgender. So there's some people probably say, that's the same thing, transgenic. I think that research does sound important. Whatever, you know, they found out a lot of stuff with the mice research and all that. But when I heard it last night, I was like, what the hell?
The vote. Is this real life?
8 million to make mice transgender.
I can't believe this shit.
Is this real life?
And you were allowed to vote. Is this real life? Now this woman's talking.
All right. Well, yeah, that was a big one. So. Well, somebody here says he was not wrong. Democrats say they're trying to pretend Trump was wrong about the government funding a study to turn mice transgender. He was not wrong. This is the study, and it's filed 80 female mice were sacrificed after their last injection. Transmasculine. Maybe they did do something. I don't know. It's a cult religion. What? I don't know. I'll have to look into that more. It's not that big of a thing for me, but we'll let the researchers look into it. I'm not going to look into them. I'm not so, you know, the trans mice are not a thing of priority for me. The other thing too, anybody that's a Joe Rogan, you like to watch Joe, whether you're a fan or not, I don't know. Some people watch him and they don't really necessarily like him. I like to watch sometimes. Or I watch the highlight. A lot of times I watch the highlight clips. I don't really watch the whole thing, you know, just pieces and, you know, here and there. Anyway, he had Ian Carroll. I watched some of his stuff. Oh, apparently I'm following him. I feel like he's kind of, I don't know. He does his research. I think he does research. I almost want to say he's on a line of conspiracy somewhat, but he does pretty well on Twitter. I don't know where else he is, but he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. So this was a big W for him. So congrats on the come up. And then apparently Aiden Ross is going to be on the show too. Rumors are saying that. Let me stop these notifications. Okay. So yeah, for anybody interested in that. Bum, 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 bum. Trans adults. What were you watching? Oh, you were watching the Joe Rogan thing? Conspiracy theorists battling. Flight attendant fired for twerking on job speaks out. Oh, man. What happened? She was twerking at the job?
She's the flight attendant whose twerking cost her dream job.
I didn't think that, you know, being so happy can turn into something like this.
Nell Diallo was having a great time dancing and twerking in the aisle on an empty plane before an early morning flight.
I decided to just take advantage of the moment to wake myself up and kind of get myself like hyped up for my day, basically.
She posted the video on TikTok along with the caption, "What's wrong with a little twerk before work?" But after the video went viral, she says Alaska Airlines fired her. What did they say to you?
They just said that I broke their social media policy.
Nell had only been on the job for 6 months. She says she was twerking to celebrate the end of her probationary period. Why did you decide to post the video?
And I was really proud of myself that I came so far. I just didn't think that my video and my post and the way I was dancing would be deemed as inappropriate.
So how did you feel in that meeting when they told you you lost your job?
I put on such a proud face every time I stepped on that plane. And for them to terminate me without giving me a chance.
Damn. So she's gone and she's pissed. She's not happy. Okay. I have been looking into spending money and went to NIH for this. So she does, Karen pulled it up. Establishment of rat models mimicking gender-affirming hormone therapies. So, okay, all right. So maybe Trump was right. Maybe this is where he got it from. The present work describes procedures set to implement 2 rat models mimicking GAHT, the demasculizing feminizing model, mimicking GAHT for TG woman, and defeminizing masculinizing model, DFM, mimicking GAHT for TG men. The models have been implemented through the administration of the same hormones used for human GAHT, namely estradiol plus cyproteron acetate and DMF, and testosterone for DFM by the same routes of exposure for a 2-week period. Rats are checked daily during the treatment to evaluate health status and potentially aggressive behaviors. At sacrifice. They really are sacrificing these bitches? I thought the guy was joking on Twitter. At sacrifice, blood and target tissues have been sampled and stored for biochemical, molecular, and histopathological analysis. Sex-specific parameters, namely sperm count and clitoral dimensions. That sounds crazy. Interesting, too, though. I don't know. Clitoral dimensions. Never even heard of that before. Dimensions. Have also been evaluated in addition to CYP450 isoforms exclusively and preferentially expressed in a male and female rat liver are identified and characterized as novel biomarkers to verify the success of GAHT and to set the model. Thyroid has also been explored as a key target in the endocrine system. I don't know. So maybe that's what he was talking about. I don't know. Maybe he'll put it out so people can look at what specific thing he was talking about that took $8 million. And this says expire January 25th. And that's from the NIH. Transgender people who are individuals whose gender identity and sex assigned at birth do not match, they often undergo gender-affirming hormonal therapy, a medical intervention that allows the acquisition of secondary sex characteristics more aligned with their individual gender, providing consistent results in the improvement of numerous socio-psychological variables. Okay. So it does look like they were doing some type of test on the rats. What the? What's your dimensions? Rat clitoris? What in the hell? Joe, look it up. Wow. All right, well, I'll give that to Trump then. I think the scientists are going to have to do further analysis. Thank you, Karen, for sending me that. Now they're talking about, oh yeah, this was the guy. I can't even play this video because for some reason this news media has copyright on it. But I'll play the audio. This is like the supposed cousin that said, Caleb McGinney, cousin to Clayton, said that he thinks the man ingested a bad batch of drugs.
At times I'm hearing that David, Clayton, and Ricky were like brothers. Jordan was kind of off on the side.
Mm-hmm.
True?
Jordan's a chemist, bro.
Jordan's what?
Jordan's a chemist. They all knew him as that. It was easy for them to go have fun, but he fucked up. He made a mistake. Jordan was the chemist. He's a scientist, right? He does what he needs to do. Now, to use my cousin, my best friend, as a guinea pig?
What about Alex Lee? What do you know about him?
I know him.
Yeah? Any idea that he might have brought drugs?
Hell no.
No?
Jordan had him. Jordan was one.
So you don't think any more attention should be paid on Alex Lee?
Alex Lee is a good man. He's a good man. Alex Lee is a solid. He was one of their best friends forever. Jordan is somebody that is known from high school as like creating drugs for people to make them feel better in certain situations. Okay, well, you want to do this? Okay, I'm gonna make this for you. I'm gonna make this for you. I'm gonna make this for you, and handing them out. The police are doing their job. If it takes time, it takes time. I will never tell them they're not doing what they should be doing. They're doing the best they can. It takes time. Because you want it to be correct at the end of the day. And that's what I hope, is when at the end of the day it comes out correct.
I never heard of that. The clitoral dementia. I'm still stuck on it. My dad was a chemist and to critique Breaking Bad. Really? That was a really good show. I really didn't like Better Call Saul, but some people love it. I didn't like that show at all. I wasn't impressed by it at all. Thought it was boring. All right, let me see what else we can browse, and then we'll see what the rest of the day is bringing. Let me see what other news. Oh, there is they're protesting Bernard College library occupied, and this is a pro-Palestine protest that's happening. We'll just show you a little clip. Breaking Bad is so good. Yo. All right, so they've taken over. Pro-Hamas protests. What else are they talking about? I feel like today wasn't. They had this, I don't know, some type of thing today with the sanctuary cities. It was going on all day today. I didn't really watch it. I saw it. Anytime I opened YouTube, I kind of saw it. I think today was kind of a quiet day for the most part, I think. I don't think nothing crazy. State Farm. Why is State Farm trending? Ooh, State Farm VP attacks LA fire victims for their ego building in a effing desert. Admits State Farm is excluding whites from employment. What? James O'Keefe. He was. I think they got rid of him, right? He was with Project Veritas. I thought they kind of got rid of him or something. I don't know how it happened, but
there can never be houses where the Palisades are. There can never be houses where like people want to be built in areas where they're like.
Audio's really bad. I guess they didn't have a choice, but yeah.
Natural areas around them. Yeah. For their ego, but they're also it's a desert.
Hayden Kirkpatrick is the Vice President of Innovation and Venture Capital at State Farm. Hayden states they're moving away from hiring white people, wanting to hire more Hispanic and Latinos, getting towards the 2040 workforce.
I personally, I tasked my HR team finding me, because I'm Native Asian. I go, you need to find you the talent profile of the workforce of the future. I want the 2040 workforce.
Mm-hmm. He pretty much was Project Veritas. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened. He's now with O'Keefe Media Group. Okay, OMG.
So go map for me the demographic profile of America in 2040. The more Hispanic and Latino.
Oh.
2-year-old, huh? You said?
Oh, wait a minute.
Hayden Kirkpatrick, Vice President of State Farm, revealed why State Farm pulled their policies from homeowners in California.
It seems like it's all, I don't know, orchestrated.
I mean, it kind of is, but not in the way that you would
think.
Our people look at this and say, we've got like maybe $5 billion that we're short if something happens. We'll go to the Department of Insurance and say, we're overexposed here. You have to let us catch up our rating. And they'll say,
okay, so I'm not going to play the whole thing. It's 14 minutes long, but James O'Keefe posted it on Twitter if you want to check it out. That's pretty interesting. And it's just kind of odd to me, too. Just go for qualified people. I don't know what's with these people and certain races and whatever. Just go for the qualified people or whatever. I don't know. Jackie, any news on Al Green from last night? No, besides that he was talking about impeachment for Trump, which my friend told me that he's tried to do this before. I haven't heard anything else. Removed from the speech. Long before getting booted from Trump's speech, Rep. Al Green called for the president's impeachment. He's done this before. Yeah, it's kind of. But this is the person that he is too. I had never heard of this guy until last night. I didn't know about him, but I guess that's how he is. That's his character. Did you want a 4-day boycott of Target? Jake from State Farm's been real quiet. Wow. No, I haven't seen that. Jamie says, have you seen the body cam on police activity of a sketchy police cop who used supply he took from someone, used it for personal use, OD'd at the station bathroom, and was found by another police officer? I haven't seen that. This sounds crazy. Sounds insane. I think that's it. I think there was an emergency landing too in Cali for a helicopter. Helicopter. Trump recognized 13-year-old DJ Daniel, boy battling brain cancer. Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
United States secret.
DJ Daniel was bullied by a group of people because he wanted to be a police officer. President surprised him. Yeah, he was being teased. There was this video that dropped today. I saw it. I was like, man, these people are just sick.
Oh, baby, you can't arrest me. You too cocky. Let me show you on your phone. You about to go what? Jail. Bitch ass back for real. Sir. Arrest her. What's she supposed to be doing? A wiggy dance? Arrest her. Well, I bet you can't arrest me. You too cocky.
And tonight, DJ, we're going.
I don't know what the whole situation was. I don't know why he was there either. By himself, maybe. I don't know if his dad was there or what the situation is with that. And then this lady last night.
But I think this was a lesson in finding one thing that you let yourself feel. And I let myself feel joy about DJ. And I hope he's alive for another, 95 years, right? And I hope he lives the life he wants to live. He wants to be a cop. He knows what he wants to do. And maybe when you have childhood cancer, that crystallizes for you. And I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump's supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide. And I hope he isn't one who has to testify against the people who carried out acts of sedition.
I think I was just kind of sick for this lady to say that about this kid. You know, I get that she's trying to like prove this January 6th, January 9th thing. But and she starts up, I don't like people like this too. Like you start off pretending you're sincere and caring and like you're wishing the best. And I hope he doesn't off himself, by the way. You know, just nasty. Man. Lily Phillips. Oh, Trump just made a post too, I guess. He said, Shalom Hamas. Hello and goodbye. You can choose release all the hostages now, not later, and immediately return all of the dead bodies of the people you murdered, or it's over for you. Only sick and twisted people keep bodies, and you're sick and twisted. I'm sending Israel everything it needs to finish the job. Not a single Hamas member will be safe if you don't do as I say. I have just met with your former hostages whose lives you have destroyed. This is your last warning for the leadership. Now is the time to leave Gaza while you have a chance. Also, to the people of Gaza, a beautiful future awaits you, but not if you hold hostages. If you do, you're dead. Make a smart decision. Release the hostages now, or there will be hell to pay later. Oh, boy. So we'll see. We'll see what comes. Whoa. What happened now with Zelensky? They're saying he shifted stance, declines negotiations with Russia. Last night, it seemed hopeful when Trump was talking because Zelensky had sent something to him or posted. I saw Zelensky was like thanking all his people, and I saw like he did the interview at Fox, and he something else where he was like thanking the U.S. for whatever, like thank you for the help or something. But the way Trump spoke last night, it seemed hopeful that maybe something, and then now it says Vladimir Zelensky has announced a refusal to negotiate with Russia, signaling the continuation of ongoing conflict without concessions. The statement follows earlier indications of openness to dialogue, highlighting a shift in Ukraine's diplomatic approach towards the conflict. What the hell happened?
Росіяни не змінили своїх позицій та вимог щодо України. Вони будуть вимагати скорочення нашої армії, будуть хотіти юридичну відмову від наших територій, також суттєвої політичної деформації України з послабленням української Конституції. І скажу, що насправді, поки ми всі в Україні будемо стояти разом і міцно, поки мир.
Okay. One last thing, we know that the Russians have not changed their positions or demands regarding Ukraine. They will insist on reducing our army. They will seek a legal reunification of our territories or renunciation of our territories, as well as significant political deformation of Ukraine with the weakening of the Ukrainian constitution. But I will say that, in fact, as long as we all in Ukraine stand together, stand strong, as long as we are here, no one will succeed in this. Peace will be dignified. Glory to Ukraine. Ukraine, for the 4th or 5th time, has changed his mind. Zelensky no longer wants the mineral deal. Oh! I don't know, man. I don't even know what to say. Oh, why hasn't someone off Z yet? I thought about, like, my mother. I was talking to my mother a little bit about this, and she was like, I don't know, if he doesn't try to work something out, they might just take him out. You know, like a coup or something. Or I don't know if government entities will intervene, you know? Wow, that is crazy, dude. Everybody's talking about Luigi's videos. Excited. Multiple adult tapes. They're still talking about it. All right. I guess that's it for now. If anything pops off, I will. I'll jump on. I'm gonna be around the house. Just gonna chill, get some things done. Some little projects. Andrew Tate, apparently Florida's investigating. This is a Florida investigation into him. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Damn. This dude said I wipe my phone every night.
Get me, arrest me, perp walk me, put me on the news, tell everyone I'm a human trafficker. You think I'm not versed? You think I'm not ready? I'm a Navy SEAL in this shit. Fucking come get me, raid my house, take my stuff. You think I sleep with a full phone full of evidence? You think I don't wipe my phone every night? You think I'm dumb? Come get me, arrest me. Let's do this all over again. I've done it for come get me, arrest me, perp walk me, put me on the news, tell everyone I'm a human trafficker. You think I'm not versed? You think I'm not ready? I'm a Navy SEAL in this shit. Fucking come get me, raid my house, take my stuff. You think I sleep with a full phone full of evidence? You think I don't wipe my phone every night? You think
Okay, all right, okay. Gay or straight, I missed that. I don't even know anymore. As far as Luigi, I don't know, man, because there were supposedly two guys that came out and said that they had relations with him. And that was from Radar Online. And then now Radar Online, the same source said that this guy has all these adult videos, and it seems like sounds like it's with women. So I don't know if it's just he's into only women, or if he's both ways, or just whatever. I don't even know. I don't know his. I don't know, Luigi. What an odd thing to say. Come arrest me. You don't think I wipe my phone every night? All the evidence is gone. What the? I know what he meant, I guess, but I don't know. It does come off weird. So there's all this beef because DeSantis was like bragging about wiping your phone every night is a weird flex. I got to watch this interview. I want to see what the conversation was about. Wow. Open-minded. Shit. All right, guys. I'll catch you later, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Be safe. Be safe. Make sure you have notifications turned on in case something happens. All right. Love you. Bye. Bloop, 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 bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop.